Hi again. Hello, friends. This is really a unique university, where we found a lot of interesting things. I visited perhaps the largest educational library. I met a powerful student movement called League of Laughter. I tried to weld in the only welding department in the country, and I ran around the stadium and became familiar with the impressive sports infrastructure of the university. We continue to study KPI. Oh, what are you doing here? I'm showing a Formula student. You know, it's like Formula 1, but how do you know? In short, they're the most prestigious car races in the world. I know. Do you know that there are only 2 such teams in Ukraine? Okay, then let me tell you about the team, and I will talk about how students assemble these cars with their own hands. Formula Student is an international competition among designers and, to a lesser extent, among race car drivers. Only students are involved in this project. Every self-respected technical university in Europe and in the world takes part in these competitions. Today, the Formula Student project has about 600 teams from around the world. 2 of them are Ukrainian. Here is one of them, Formula Student KPI. Today, it is made up of 14 young talented engineers who have assembled the 4th race car with their own hands. According to the rules of Formula 1, a student pilot must get into the race car in 5 seconds. Cool, but my legs are not in the right place. Yes, Alfa Romeo. Well, what can I say? I'm cramped, but I feel like I'm comfortably sitting in a race car. The task of the team is to assemble at least 1 new racing car a year. Now the guys are going to the presentation of their 4th racing car. I want to emphasize that they assembled it with their own hands. There are only 5 to 6 parts that are bought somewhere in auto shops or ordered on the internet. Everything else is made by hand. So this is an FS KPI 004 race car with 60 horsepower. Its 240 kg engine can gain a speed of up to 130 km per hour. Just imagine the adrenaline surge that the driver is experiencing at such a high speed, being inside a car that is 10 centimeters above the ground. I am now in the Laboratory of Technical Measurements of the Mechanical Engineering Institute. Here, students not only made the details of a race car, but also make scientific discoveries. In fact, the students of KPI assemble race cars not only in a garage. This is a high-tech laboratory where practically any part can be made. Here, a system of numerical control software that can process light metals, wood and plastic has been installed. It is right here in this lab that the steering wheel of a race car is made. This year, the steering electronic control unit connectors and the steering rack housing of last year's car were printed on 3D printers. The laboratory also operates on machines that have been tested by time. For example, this coordinate measuring machine measures the dimensions of complex surfaces of parts, such as this engine connecting rod. Data is recorded in the computer in the form of a so-called point cloud. And a fresh idea in business can be implemented with the help of the startup school Sikorsky Challenge. There, they will tell you what to do with your idea, help you find an appropriate business model that can become a business and bring financial gains. But the main thing is to help find an investor. At the festival, there are investors, including international ones. They select projects for further discussion of the possibility of investing in this project. Everyone can get to school. Then everything will depend on you, and that will determine how successful your idea will be. The local Silicon Valley has found a niche on the market. Heat-resistant paint, a robot assistant with the function of face recognition. These and other participants of the startup competition are 120 times more useful than you, Andrei. The most famous residence halls of the KPI are, of course, these 20-story book blocks. They were built especially for the 1980 Olympics. At KPI, there are dorms of the block and corridor types, as well as family ones, with the layout of a one-room apartment. Many have a gym or a ping-pong table. A student club is operational, and there is a convenient laundry room. Each of the 20 KPI dorms has its advantages. You can read about the advantages and features of living in dorms on numerous web forums. Where the rooms are better, where supervisors are better, and where there are more girls. In general, the KPI is a very strong information infrastructure. All 20 university halls are interconnected by a local network with hundreds of public groups, channels, chats, and messengers in all possible social networks. Let's see what students are interested in today in the Telegram channel Overheard at KPI. The guy who was on October 15th in Polina with friends did a leg split to block my way. Then the phrase "it did not work" sounded. I appreciated it. Coming to view. I feel a romantic story begins. This is ingenious. Pickup masters, remember this trick. Today at 13:30 in the library, a guy in the elevator waved his hand to me and left. Please find me. Well, we see that mostly, at least in this Telegram channel, girls and boys are interested in dating and chatting, and also in lost and found items. So, Serhiy, this independent life, the need to make independent decisions and independently solve emergent issues, taught me everything I can do now. And if you had studied well, now you would have a car, an apartment, and a good salary. Here, for example, students and teachers of the Heat and Energy Department do not spread out blankets in the park, but develop a nano-satellite. Nano-satellites. For more than 4 years, the nano-satellite Politan 1 has been plowing outer space. 2 years ago, Politan 2 joined him, and now the restless KPI students are preparing the third Politan. Come on and check out what the nano-satellite looks like. While the first satellite is surfing the cosmic spaces, we can see his twin brother at the Department of Nano-Satellite Technologies. The main task of this Politan is to work out the flight modes and study the apparatus for its further use. It's a kind of test. According to its developers, the first copy has already exceeded its plan by 4.5 times and continues to send signals to the ground station every day. As you can see, this is the case when size does not matter. The functions of a large satellite, which allows it to fly in orbit at a speed of 6 to 7 to 8 kilometers per second. It is charged by photocells. There are batteries. Here behind the boards is the battery pack, which is powered by the central processor, and here is the central processing board. The same backup is available for the second satellite, which is currently studying the upper layers of the atmosphere. Ordinary satellites do not stay long at such heights due to large dimensions, but Politan 2, due to its small size, continues to transmit the received information to Earth. And I continued to walk through the KPI campus and studied on the subject of fitness for life. Regarding the latter, here's the Las Vegas club infrastructure. Well, almost. In addition to the 3 major shopping and entertainment centers on the campus, there are about 5 nightclubs. They're the ones I know about because some places are quite underground and only students know about them. In walking distance from any KPI dorm, it is easy to find where to eat and buy everything you need. Moreover, there are numerous services on the territory of the campus, such as mobile phone repair or dry cleaning, as well as sports grounds and even cinemas. On maps, this place is called Olena Teliha Square. By the way, there is a monument to her, but in reality it is called Polyana, Glade. This place regularly hits news releases, especially at the end of August. Polyana is a unique place. Everyone gathers here regardless of age, gender, social status, welfare, language, religion, nationality. Amnesty International would give this place 5 stars. There's always someone in the Glade and something is always happening. Do you feel bored? Come to Polyana. It buzzes with excitement. This is exactly where something is always happening. It's in outer space. The satellite Polyton 2 transmits information about this 4 times a day to the ground station. Communication with it is maintained by the station operator Nazar Bendasug. When we launched the first machine and they called me in the morning and said that it was working, there was a lot of joy. I walked and smiled at myself in the mirror. I was hopping around the room with joy. It was really an awesome feeling. This satellite travels the distance from Kiev to Lviv in less than a minute. Communication is carried out on the so-called amateur frequencies. This is a range specifically designed for non-professional radio stations with a power of up to 5 watts. Here we can see a small dot on the screen. We can see it flying over America now. And here the trajectory along which it will fly is shown. And so the little yellow dot shows the moment when we can communicate with it. Communication with the satellite is supported by antenna mounted on the roof, which receives the signal from space. Now, unlike Andrei, I have a unique opportunity to communicate with the satellite. Here we are already on the roof, and the antenna is now communicating with the satellite, which perhaps can hear and see me, but unfortunately I don't see it and I don't hear it, because the distance is quite large. But I will try to contact it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, what are you doing? Did you know that according to statistics, every 6th resident of Kiev is a KPI student? Sergey, you are in the KPI. Everybody here is a student. By the way, it was the scale of this university that impressed me the most. Look, what a huge territory, more than 25,000 students. I read somewhere, although you still know that in the 100 years of the university's existence, it has released more than 370,000 students. Well, first of all, 120 years. Does it matter? Beautiful anyway. And I was most interested in the scientific discoveries of this university. Does it exist? It doesn't just exist. It's in orbit now. I personally spoke to it. This was the program Take It Higher, and today we were at the Igor Sikorsky National Technical University of Ukraine. Bye.
На спутнике я его в руках держал, маленький такой, хорошая коробочка.